Welcome to Miss Neunder's classes, Social Skills and Instructional Studies. Social Skills 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. In social skills, the course relies heavily on improving student reflection, self-awareness, group interactions, the importance of being a lifelong learner, contributing to your community by focusing on caring about others, and improving communication. These are all in accordance with IB/MYP guidelines. 6th grade course topics is an intro to major social skills curriculum themes and language. For social thinking, we explore social and school smarts, expected and unexpected behaviors, and being a social detective. For flexibility, we consider what is it and how does it impact us. We look into self-regulation, recognizing emotions, behaviors and how they affect emotions, exploring sensory strategies and why they work, and taking breaks. For self-determination and self-advocacy, we look into starting to ask for help, exploring IEPs, and participating in IEPs. 7th grade course topics focus on self-monitoring behavior and skills. Flexibility, the types of rigidity and strategies that deal with them, big deal, little deal, positive self-talk, choice, no choice, and implementing these strategies with support. Social thinking, we use context clues to self-monitor behavior, and we start looking into perspective taking. For self-determination and self-advocacy, we begin asking for help, coming up with a solution and following through independently, and help writing our IEPs and participating in them. 7th grade course topics continued. We begin talking about conversations, the types of conversation, finding common interests, and giving each other compliments. For friendship skills, we begin identifying who our friends are and how to make and keep friends. We use the circles curriculum, which is text, talk, touch, and taking pictures, and we distinguish between acquaintances, friends, and frenemies. We also start looking at different kinds of humor. Hygiene is another topic that we cover in 7th grade. In 8th grade, the course topics are about increasing independence and high school readiness. We look into flexibility. We manage our stress and workload, problem solving, and expectations and consequences, both positive and negative. Under social thinking, we begin understanding and using empathy. We talk about picking a group, managing group dynamics and workload. For self-determination, we learn to advocate with general education teachers independently. We start managing our anxiety related to transitions, and we lead our IEP transition meeting. The other social activities in high school prep consist of preparation for the end-of-year dinner and dance, eating while maintaining conversation with multiple people, ways to meet people, and taking pictures. For grading, our grades reflect student achievement and not student behavior. We have formative assessments, which are practice. It's 30% of the grade, with classwork being 15%, the weekly grade being 15%. For summative assessments, we have a 70%, with performance assessments being 35% and projects being 35%. For missing work will be accepted up until the end of the unit. There's no penalty for late assessments, and students will be asked to stay after school if necessary to make up missed assignments. The weekly grades consist of students recording their highs and lows, their current emotional state, and then being able to share with their classmates using expected behavior. As the year progresses, students will be asked to include more difficult conversational skills. Things like braining the group, supporting comments and questions, and empathetic responses. The classwork grade includes completion of formative assessments which are used to see where students are in understanding the current subject. Projects are tasks that require more than one day, group work, and self-reflection. Some examples are zones collages, comic strips, a hygiene experiment, and video modeling reflections. The performance assessments are grades based on generalization of learned skills, and these include taking field trips, engaging in conversations with staff or other students in the class, creating skits, movies, or presentations to share what they have learned. Classroom expectations and academic honesty. The expectations are that students are expected to respect themselves and others by being prepared, to be on time, and by being an active listener. Academic honesty, the students are expected to adhere to the TJMS academic honesty policy. Instructional studies, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. The purpose of this course is to strengthen executive functioning skills as they relate to a student's life in all areas, academically, socially, and emotionally. Students in middle school are at a critical point where the demands for independent work increase. This year's unit of study will include, but are not limited to, certain cognitive abilities that control and regulate what we do in day-to-day life. These include the ability to initiate and persist in activities, planning and organizing assessments and long-term projects, goal setting, problem solving, regulating emotions, monitoring behavior, and figuring out how to become more flexible about plans and assignments. Grading. This is a pass-fail class because we are working on increasing expected behaviors and successfully managing assignments and projects. The skills that are being assessed are following directions, on-task skills, organization, time management, long-term project management, and studying strategies. Some of the strategies that we'll be working on are using time organizers, using step-by-step approaches with visual organizers, figuring out how to deal with written instructions, planning and structuring transition times, using technology whenever possible, using checklists with estimated time for completion of each step, and also having scheduled times to organize their binders and folders. The expectations of the class are to prioritize tasks, to ask for help when needed, break down long-term projects and assignments, schedule their time accurately to finish the work, and ensure they have all the materials needed for the assignments. We'll be looking at writing their homework and projects in their assignment notebook. They need to be willing to work on assignments in class, to learn to be quiet while others are working, and be willing to try different strategies to get work finished.